What up? What up, my guys? Welcome to another show, man. It's NBA Talk with Jay Money and the Shark, my guys. It's Thursday. We're trying to get some cash. Oh, it's all good, Shark. I was like, what the hell's going on? What you how you doing, my brother? Everything cool with you?
Yeah, taking a breath. Beautiful Thursday morning here on the East Coast. A lot going on within the NBA. Obviously, card yesterday didn't go our way. We'll talk about that maybe briefly after we go through today's games. Two games on the card today. We originally didn't think we'd have a lot of looks, but we are honed in on one. Let's get in there and let's dominate.
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. It's only two games today, my guys. So we're definitely gonna try to get to some cash here. NBA Talk with Jay Money and the Shark live every morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, my guys. So we appreciate everybody for tuning into the show. First game up, we're going to the streets of Orlando here, where we got the Magic getting 9 points versus the Golden State Warriors, coming off 3 straight losses, laying 9 here, close to double digits. Gonna need them to win in a blowout spot here, Shark. Can the Warriors win this one by 20 plus points, my guy?
I think so. On a suddenly not so casual thirsty Thursday, November 3rd, 2022, the buy hat is engaged. Jace, you said it, a lot going on here. Dubs come in here in a position I don't think they foresaw themselves being in this campaign, albeit very early. 3-5 straight up, 3 consecutive losses, and truly absolutely useless on the road. And that's the center point as we jump off into this cap. Golden State comes in here 0-4 straight up on the road and 0-4 ATS on the road. They also come in here with very interesting dynamics against Orlando. The Golden State Warriors have lost 4 consecutive ball games in Orlando, dating back to, I believe, the fall of 2018. You also get line functionality here, and this is rare when you find out-of-conference matchups early season. Go back to last year. The Dubs at home were laying 15.5 points against Orlando and did crush them 126-95. Coming back to Orlando, the line came down very short from 15.5 to 7.5, suggesting Orlando would be the side. And what do you know? Orlando got them outright 94-90. So you get a direct revenge game here. And in that game that day, the Dubs were up significantly going into the fourth quarter. Steph Curry was not playing. Klay Thompson and the boys melted the game completely 29-16. So you get an all worlds collide spot here. Useless on the road, losing streak, 0-4 ATS. You go to the other side of this game, you find Orlando 2-0 ATS at home, which I think is not going to apply here. If you really go through the Orlando schedule, Orlando, both home covers have come against the East specifically. One against Boston Saturday, October 22nd, 126-120, and an outright win, which we had correctly on Friday, October 18th against Charlotte. Golden State has to turn up here. You get the revenge element, you get the line element, and truthfully, this is a must-win turn-up spot as much as we think that might sound comedic. I got a couple more points on this, Jay. I'll throw it back to you. We're officially on 8 overnight on Twitter. If you guys got that, wouldn't talk you off 9. Now 1 unit official.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, my guy. Yeah, it should be a Smack City spot here by the Warriors here. Hadn't been playing a ton of defense, but, I mean, we know this Magic team isn't the best offensively. They are at the house. You're asking the Warriors to win by double digits here, but I definitely think they can get it done. I'm not taking the Magic here. It's definitely Warriors or nothing for me in this one, Shark. You got a couple more points on this one?
Yeah, I do. And I obviously mentioned not a lot of defense in this game. I do think the over will also have some merit. If you go back to last year, both totals went under the current total, 126-95. Obviously, that's a 221 final. And then just an egregiously low-scoring game, 94-90 in Orlando. This comes up to 226. You're going to see more points here tonight. I could see one of those games where the Dubs score 140 points tonight, and it's just a wide-open game, and they're just shooting threes, just getting up and down. And one final point in this game that I really wanted to go through. Obviously, this is the 4th game for the Dubs on an Eastern trip before finishing tomorrow night in New Orleans. But if you really go through the reasoning as to why they lost the previous 3 games that did not cover, I wanted to go back and see if the line functionality actually mattered. It did. If we really go through this, Golden State at Charlotte on Saturday, October 29th, 120-113 in overtime. Charlotte, as we suggested before, is all over the grid. There was no line applicability there. So that was just whatever could happen, and it did. But you come back. We suggested this a couple days ago. Or, excuse me, wrong game. The game at Detroit, if we go through the line functionality last year, this was sharp stuff, and it did tell you a Detroit story. At that point, coming into that game on Sunday, October 30th, last year, the Dubs at Detroit did win on a -2, 105, 102, and cover. And if you guys remember that game, nobody played in that game. It was like they like removed all the top players. It was like Jordan Poole and a bunch of role players. Nonetheless, the Dubs did cover 105, 102, and then it came up at the Chase Center out in San Francisco to a very high line, -15.5. And Detroit did cover, or excuse me, the Dubs did cover that by a hook, 102.86. So it was -15.5 coming back to 7, again short, exactly what you saw last year in the Orlando series where they were 15.5 at home, came back 7 short. Now this is the polar opposite. This is where they were 7.5 at Orlando last year in a loss, and this comes back to the same number and getting steamed up very, very aggressively. And one final point, that game against Miami, which we discussed the other day, that was a Miami line too. So these losses, scatter plot at Charlotte, it was supposed to be a Detroit side numerically. It was supposed to be a Miami side numerically. And now this is the first game on this 4-game Eastern swing that the number is actually on the Dubs.
Yeah, that's a good point here. Yeah, my guy Chris in the chat saying he like him Warriors first half as well. Could definitely be a trifecta spot here if the Warriors come out here and play their best game. We know that the Magic, they try to win with defense. They try to win with length. It's not on the offensive side of the ball. So if Curry, Poole, and the boys get going here, Wiggins as well, they definitely should be able to smoke these boys, man. In my opinion, I feel like they should trifecta spot only as long as they're coming in motivating this game, which losing all 3 previous games on this road trip. They should definitely be motivated to take these guys to Smack City here. So could not talk you out of a trifecta spot here for the Warriors in this one, my guys. Next game up here, my guys. Let's go over here to the streets of Oklahoma City here. We got the Oklahoma City Thunder playing good, man. Getting 6.5 at the house. This is their role here, Shark. The Nuggets hadn't been playing a ton of defense. Obviously, they don't have a ton of defensive stoppers over there. Jokic definitely not a defensive stopper over there. Total sitting at 229 here. You think we can get up and over, or you think that the Thunder continue playing well here, Shark?
It's a tough spot. This is very, very difficult stuff. I think finding an angle in this game is going to be difficult. Now, you obviously mentioned this. I don't think anybody foresaw this. You got Oklahoma City here on a dub 4 outright, back-to-back wins against the Clippers, impressive win at Dallas in overtime, and then, of course, a late cover against Orlando in their final game. But even more impressive than just a 4-game winning streak, they are 6-1 ATS on the season. Highly efficient stuff in all formats, road and home, all different opponent types. And I'm not sure if that's going to stop anytime soon. You look at what Denver did in a revenge game against them at the Lakers. They laid down on a similar line distribution, and this is a similar line there. Obviously, Oklahoma City, we had that early season to cover at Denver at a +8.5, 9. Denver got there 122, 117. You get an Oklahoma City revenge game. The line is very, very well averaged here at a 6, 6.5. I think it's a gamble line. If I had to take anything, I think Oklahoma City continues the upward movement, and I'm not entirely sure what the Nuggets' motivation is here to beat this team twice in the early going of this season.
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good point there, because the whole thing is with the Nuggets is if you don't have motivation, man, it's tough laying points at them, especially on the road as well. They're not necessarily playing championship style defense as well, my guys. So definitely a tough one in that one for me. Now, man, let's go talk about some shirts in this one, man. We got $10 off shirts. Use promo code WIN10 over there at the site. The Jay and Shark shirts are only $15, my guys. So definitely can't talk you off. This is just basically your last chance. You basically got until the 15th to get a shirt, my guys. And then after that, it's probably going to be shut off, man. So Smack City, Us Against the Bookies. Let's get some cash shirts. But the Jay and Shark shirt is $15, my guys. Use promo code WIN10 over at the site, or just hit myself up or Shark. You can use the promo code over at the website jmoneyismoney.com. Now let's get to some free picks, Shark. What you liking on tonight's card, my brother?
Yeah, absolutely. And just one final point on that Denver game. I'm just going through the schedule very quickly. Denver is 1-3 straight up on the road. Outright loss at Utah, an opener. Outright loss at Portland, blowout, and then Los Angeles. The only game they got was actually the Dubs, where Jay had that correctly, because they were super motivated to play the Dubs in a playoff revenge. This is not going to be a motivational spot. I think free play, we would lead Oklahoma City tonight. But official play, Golden State Warriors on the road. Enough is enough, gentlemen. Time to wake up in this campaign, particularly on the road. 0-4 ATS, 0-4 straight up. revenge game dating back to last year against Orlando. Have not won or covered in Orlando since 2018. This is a totally different group. This is the time to turn up, score 135 plus points, and lay the hammer down tonight. One top play, 9 words of lifestyle. Rod, the way we got to water. Jay Money, we'll be back on football later. I see you guys in the chat saying Thursday Night Football. Of course, that game is going to be a crazy, tough game at 13.5, 14, 2-touchdown line for Philly and whatnot. But we'll be on here later. An opportunity to dominate. Jay Money, close them out, and let's get it.
Yeah, that's crazier. Actually, the Philadelphia, they playing the Houston team, right? Just like in baseball. That's actually pretty crazy. I just realized that. But yeah, man, I can't talk y'all Warriors. I like the Warriors in this one. I took them last night -8. I'm leaning first half as well. This should be a spot where it should be in theory be a trifecta spot for the Warriors. Hadn't bet first quarter, first half yet, but did take the -8 last night. With their team total over should get there as well, man. This should be a game where the Warriors bust out offensively here. So rather than me taking the over in the game, I just take Warriors team total over. Magic may not get there on their team total side, man. So hopefully Warriors taking the Smack City here. Only 2 games today. We'll be back later. Hit those notifications, my guy. Hit the bell, notification bell. That way you get notified every time that we go live, and you'll obviously get notified when we do that NFL show, my guys. We appreciate your time. Let's go to Smack City one time for the one time. It's Us Against the Bookies, my guys. We out. Let's cash.